We have been dealing with some pretty ugly grievance cases in the last 2 weeks. Some really horrible ones with lots of statements, lots of investigating, all of that. And it's the investigating part that I really want to be talking to you guys about. It seems that everybody really understands the process of where an investigation fits in a disciplinary process. So when you have an employee that does something that they shouldn't do, everybody seems to understand that you have to start by investigating it as quickly as you can, speaking to all the witnesses, getting all the slips and CCTV and whatever is relevant, and then proceeding to disciplinary from there or following the investigation. So that seems to be fairly well understood. But where an investigation then fits in to the grievance process seems to be what is really confusing. So we get managers who get a grievance and they want to start investigating straight away and disproving the grievance points immediately. And I'm like, whoa, stop the bus. You haven't actually spoken to the employee. So the first step in a grievance process is always to invite the employee to a grievance hearing and hear their grievance. That is what it's for. It's a grievance hearing to hear the grievance. So that meeting is mostly a listening meeting for you. It's a meeting to understand what their grievance is about, ask the clarifying questions that you need to ask to understand exactly what their concerns are and how you need to investigate it. But a lot of people say to me, oh, but I have it in writing. I'm like, yeah, but you only have what they've put down on paper. You haven't got the in-between bits. The written grievance is the first step. Then you need to hear their grievance. You need to have an actual conversation with them. So that is quite a formal meeting. You have to invite them. They get to have someone with them. We say that meeting should be recorded. It is a proper formal meeting. Once you have that, you then know what you need to go investigate. Now, in some cases, you can start investigating beforehand. If, for example, a grievance was raised by an employee following a confrontation between her and her manager at the club, but even when she raised the grievance, said that the chef was with them and was in that conversation. So I said, you can already go and speak to that chef and say, tell me everything you remember. Who said what, who did what, when did they do it? You can already do that. And the sooner you do it, the better she's going to remember the situation. So of course you can start in situations like that. You can start investigating even before the meeting. But in most cases, you're getting a grievance about something like the changing of working hours or long-term bullying or sexual harassment or something along those lines. And actually, you just need to hear what their concerns are and what their view of the facts are before you go and ask people questions. Then, once the grievance hearing's been done, that's when you then do your investigation. The investigation itself is similar to an investigation for a disciplinary, similar to any investigation for that matter. And that is then where you do the investigation. Following that investigation, you then give an outcome in writing to the grievance. Now, this is another place people get really, really confused. Okay, this grievance was raised against Bob for changing my shifts without my permission, or I didn't agree to it and he cut my shifts because I went on holiday or whatever. And you find that actually this did happen and it shouldn't have happened like that. And actually now you need to deal with Bob. And this is where people get really confused. They're like, but do I have to investigate again? No, your investigation is done. You just now, if you haven't already spoken to Bob, which you probably have as part of your grievance process, you can now proceed to disciplinary because you have an investigation. You don't need to do another one. Although, when we look at your case, we might send you away to go and ask a further question here or there of someone, or maybe a second investigation with Bob because we now have more information. But that investigation that you did for the grievance, that becomes the investigation that's then used for the disciplinary process. Here's the tricky bit, not by you. If you did the investigation, you did the grievance, you can't do the disciplinary even though you did the investigation. That is because you technically already did the investigation. So you then need someone else to do your disciplinary. So I just kind of wanted to explain to you guys where the investigation fits in the grievance process and how it then fits into a disciplinary that comes off that grievance process.
Thanks for watching. If you want a free peace of mind call with us to discuss your policies, handbook, and any burning staff issues in your business, click the link in the description below.